Mm. Either way. Hey, goodness to you. It's Sporty King, and I always say goodness. Why? Because I don't know whether you're watching morning, afternoon, or evening, but isn't it great to have good in front of your salutation? Look, I'm on 5 minutes earlier before the broadcast, which is adjusted at 1:15 instead of usually 1 o'clock. But um, that's adjustments I've been making towards this end of this year because of my travel schedule. And that, in fact, that was one of my challenges. Was even getting this one up today because I just got back last night. So also come on early to give everybody a chance to close out what they're doing. And I hope I'm even sounding good. Let me put that question in there for in case somebody comes on. Okay. Yeah, let me know. Okay, let me do this. Let me do this. Uh, let me know if the sound is good. Okay. All right. Let me save that. Save that. Okay, there we go. So yeah, let me know if the sound is good. Oh no, I don't want it. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Good. Okay, there we go. I'm back in business. All right. Okay, yeah. So anyway, I also like to come in early in case I want to do any shout outs. So put your name in the thread where you're watching from, because I'm going across 3 mediums: Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube simultaneously through the magic of StreamYard. Okay, so that's another technology. If you need questions about that, let me know. I can always help you with that. But we've got less than 4 minutes for today's message. So let me know where you're coming in from. That way I can click on you and give you a shout out and let other people know. But the key is I need to know if the sound is working. Yeah, because I've had problems with that before. So let me know if the sound was working. Okay. All right. Somebody who's there, let me know. Is the sound working? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, let me know if the sound is working. Let me get me off here. Okay. Yeah, let me know if the sound is working. Okay. How you can hear it. Okay. Okay. All right. So we'll have that soon. And if you're watching the video, and if it's okay, how everybody. Hey, what's happening, Daphne? All right, all is well. Cool. Okay. So the sound was the sound was working. The sound is working, Daphne. The sound is working. Okay. All right, but I guess that all is well means that. So we've got less than 2 minutes for today's message, but all is well, Daphne, and the sound is working. Let me know. Can you hear it? All right, let me know. All right. Oh, because see, I'm wondering. Oh, good. Yes, thank you, Daphne. Yeah, because I had these problems before, and so I did talk to StreamYard, and they gave me some suggestions on what I needed to be doing, and they said everything sounded fine. So I'm doing what they said. So good. So we've got less than 2 minutes for today's message. Welcome, Daphne. A surprise we didn't get you in as a co-author this trip around, but that's okay. You're always one of my favorite co-authors, and we tend to get the message across anyway. That's it. Because even today's lesson, spoiler alert, today's message features the letter Y. And what's the first word you come in with, Daphne? Yes. Because that's the word. Yes. Don't we want to hear God say yes? Well, our message is about that a little bit today, because that's the whole point, is that God always says yes. It's just a matter of us hearing the yes. Because, see, the yes is not always going to sound the way you want it to sound. God's yes is sometimes a don't do that. Yeah, God's yes can be a no. Okay. So we've got less than 1 minute for our message today. So, yes, you will be hearing that. You know it. Hey, okay, Daphne. So thank you. All right. But yes. Oh, I like that. Boy, we always have synchronicity. That's the key. We always have synchronicity. And again, there's another way of looking at God. Yes, even when you think you're out. Look, right now, oh my God, I'm like semi-shaven, and I'm showing you, I'm mentioning it, but I'm going to actually mention it in the broadcast, because I've been traveling, And so I got back late last night, and yeah, I want to tell you a little bit about that experience. So let's get on with the telling, because it is now time for Glue Wednesday. So welcome to Glue Wednesday. I created it because so often we hear people call Wednesday Hump Day, and so I said, well, you know what? They said that based on the fact that old school rules, we used to just say people work the week, Monday through Friday, or the weekend. We didn't have the term flex time, but there's always been flex time because there's always been people who work in hotels, restaurants, public transportation, all of that. So I said, let's, instead of calling Wednesday the hump day, what about if someone worked from Thursday to Tuesday? See, so it's not always the hump. The key is we want to get over. I'm sorry, the hump has the connotation of the need to get over, when the key is we want to keep it together. So that's why I decided that Wednesday is the middle of a 7-day week. It keeps no matter when you work, it keeps the beginning and the end together. So it's the glue. And that puts me in my prayerful pose, which I like. And so it's the glue. And my glue is GLUE. God's love undoes everything. Not that it'll tear things apart, but what things have been torn apart, God's love will undo that tear and bring them back together. So that's what Glue Wednesday is all about. So I hope you've been tuned in before. If you haven't, tune in again so that you can get comfortable with it. And meanwhile, this week, I'm going to be reconvening my 7-week series. I only got one more week, this week and next week. This week and next broadcast, because our next broadcast is not going to be until the 15th. And I'm using what I call the Spoetry system, the Spoetry Series, where what I do is each week you give me words beginning with the featured letter from the word Spoetry, which is when I early started out my poetry, which is also, by the way, the genesis of my speaking business. I used to say Spoetry stood for SPORTETRY. Sporty's poetry opens emotions to reach you, because that's where we meet people, is at the emotional level. So that's where I originally started using my poetry. And I write a poem in this series where once you put the words for the feature letter in the thread, I write a poem that gets all of those words into the poem. Don't write it yet, but I'll repeat these instructions at the end. And that is that before we sign off, whoever's live will puts a word in the thread. They will, in essence, be my co-authors for the following week. But then they'll also get a chance to give me the topic of the poem for next week. And after I've gotten your word, what I'll do is I'll give everybody a chance. I'll give a countdown from of 3, and you're going to put a number in that begins with a number from 1 to 10. Because I've already pre-selected what the next broadcast number is, but you'll put in a number from 1 to 10. Whoever's the closest to that number will be the person who gives me the topic for the next broadcast. And I'll repeat this at the end, but especially if you're watching the video, especially if you're live, I want you to be able to hear it again. And whoever's the closest to the number, if 2 people have the same number, whoever clicked on first, but that you'll be waiting for my countdown. Let's wait till we get to there. Today, we're going to be featuring the letter Y. And the words were volunteered by Lorenzo Clemons, who gave me Yawn and Yearning, Joe Waddell, who gave me Youth, and MC, what's her name? First name is Michelle. She's on LinkedIn, and she had given me the word yield. My guiding scripture is from Isaiah 40:31. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. And our topic came from Joey Waddell. He gave me the topic of joy, Joy, Joy. Joy. And I'll tell you why I slipped up there. But because hilariously, as God works, Joey sent me a text last night asking if it were too soon to address the topic of joy, which is why I put it in the promo, joy, too soon. And I responded, topics aren't timed, they're timely. And thanks. For instance, I arrived alive in Charlotte from my drive from Dayton, Ohio. I was supposed to be home an hour earlier. This is what I put in a text to him. Well, I missed my exit and I ended up having to take a long way around. During that process of getting home, I avoided a car accident. but got a flat tire. Because see, I didn't see the guy. I saw the guy cutting into my lane. It was a 2-lane. I saw him cutting in, and I slammed on the brakes and I turned into the curb. So I avoided getting hit. But once I turned into the curb, it gave my tire a flat tire. And so waiting for the tow truck to come, meanwhile, once I got out to check out my flat tire, I jammed my thumb in my door as I, was slamming the door to get out and go look at the tire. And so that's what I said to Joey. I have joy because I have just avoided a major car accident. And it was nice. And the person didn't stop. They just kept on driving. But like I said, I just did it as a nice boom, banged up my tire and got back on. And I call it, I crippled my way or stumbled to the gas station and called the tow truck. And they came and changed my tire. And so when I originally was supposed to get home at 10 after 5, I got home closer to 8:30. So meanwhile, therefore, with all of that, I decided that the title of my poem should be Time Waits for Everyone. Time waits for everyone, because we hear people say time waits for no man. I'll come back to that. But I decided to call it Time Waits for Everyone. Time waits for everyone if you know how not to move. See, that's the joy of being JOY, just one you, and the comfort that you have nothing to prove. If you know how, our youthful mindset challenges our decisions. That's our choice of how to define the yield before us. And we choose to let prosperity call our card, because what we see lays clearly before our eyes. That our choice to accept and acknowledge our blessing is something we make seem easy, yet it's a long process and often very hard. Because the joy, JOY, will work itself to Jesus owns you as the most valuable thing that you could have at any time. And wait is the promise that God would not give you more than you can handle. And that's wait, WAIT, or wait, WEIGHT, is the promise that God would not give you more than you could handle. So inhale your daily joy in waking up, where your yawn chuckles at bedtime, at boredom. So I'm sorry. Inhale and receive your daily joy in waking up, where your yawn chuckles at boredom and replenishes the moments of yesterday. Those smiles and gasps and sneezes and the heartfelt laughter lingering and bringing life to what was once a dream. Yearn for the taste of satisfaction as your craving spiritual relationship rests upon the palate of your mind. It's food for thought, quenching your thirst for understanding, unleashing and underlining the turning point at each fork in the road. Feel for the youthful spirit that guides your next move to surpass immaturity in favor of welcoming the new harvest and lessons learned. Those being the fullness of God's word upon your walk, wandering wonderfully with wisdom for every time as this. Tune your ears and eyes to recognize the yield beyond caution, destined for the continued growth of understanding who you are, your faith surpassing the roadblocks, recognizing and rejoicing as your path widens and welcomes how you allow your senses to tingle through the experience. For if you know how to pray and get out of the way, your expectation is rewarded with an easy collection of two. Those being joy, just one you, because joy, Jesus owns you. When you expect, those being joy, just one you, because JOY, Jesus owns you, plus their celebration of being easy when you expect angels to save you. Because the truth is, time waits for everybody. And that's my glue for today. You see, the idiom is that time waits for no man. And that means that that means that no man has power to stop time or to change its course. I therefore chose to express that there is no course to change because we don't have that power. So our relationship with time is really that it's already and always here. It's just a matter of our understanding its blessings and ours to be in it. And that's why I can say, hey, the Haas Jose Valencia, greetings and to me and family. Great, great, great. So I'm going to read the poem and point out a few spots. While I'm doing that, what I want you to do, you could be putting your words in the thread. That next week's feature letter is going to be S, as in sporty. So you can put words in the thread to begin with the letter S, and I'll come back to that. And remember, if you're on YouTube, put it in the comments, not in the thread. When this broadcast is over, the thread goes away, but the comments stay. But I'm going to reread the poem and just kind of give you a little glimpse as to how I put it together. But in the meanwhile, you can put a word that begins with the letter S in the thread, and you can go on and hit send and enter that. But as I mentioned already, the title, why I went to go with time waits for everyone, because the idiom is that time waits for no man. And that's my whole point. Time, since we don't have the power to change time, well, therefore, we might as well recognize it's already there. We have to understand it, and it's a blessing, and it's a blessing for us to be in time. So meanwhile, what I have throughout the poem is the chorus line, if you know how. See, time waits. The chorus line, if you know how, reminds us to live in each moment, because time waits for everyone if you know how not to move. If you know how, our youthful mindset. See, so that becomes the key. If you know how not to move, that's the joy of being just one you and the comfort that you have nothing to prove. If you know how, our youthful mindset challenges our decision. That's our choice of how to define the yield before us. And we choose to let prosperity call our card. And see, that's a play on the word of our calling card rather than caution. Because what we see lays clearly before our eyes, that our choice to accept and acknowledge our blessing is something we make seem easy. Yet it's a long process and often very hard. See, our yield can mean caution, but yield can also mean prosperity. So we choose to define the yield before us as prosperity as our calling card. So that's what that stand is saying. Prosperity is our calling card. It's not our caution. It's our calling card, because what we see is clearly our choice to accept and acknowledge our blessing as something that we make it seem easy, because we make waking up seem easy, but that ain't easy. When we do something that is our gift, somebody says, "Oh man, you are so good. That's so easy." No, it's because that's our gift, and that's the yield that God has given to us. So it's not easy. It's a long process. And the way I make this look easy because I've been doing it a long time and focused on doing it and getting it right. So prosperity is your calling card. And then the poem goes on, because the joy will work itself toward joy, where Jesus owns you as the most valuable thing that you could have at any time. And wait is the promise that God would not give you more than you can handle. So you can wait on the Lord. God won't give you more than you can handle. And the weight that you have on your shoulders, where you think, "Oh, I just can't take another thing," God would not give you more than you can handle. So whichever way you want to look at weight, that's the message, that God would not give you more than you can handle. Then what I did with the next 4 stanzas, I use the 5 senses, which always connects us to God. And then I combined the last 2 sentences, and then I closed each line of each stanza with the letter from the last word of the previous stanza. So when I said, "Inhale and receive your daily joy of laughter," and then the following, "lingering and bringing life to what was once a dream." And then yearn for the satisfaction, for the taste of satisfaction. So walk, wandering with wonder for such a time as this. Because see, that's the thing. That's Esther, right? You know, you were yearning for such a time as this, okay? And then feel for the youthful spirit, understanding and unleashing, understanding, unleashing, and underlining what blessing is. And then finally, tune your ears and eyes to recognizing and rejoicing. For if you know how to pray and get out of the way, your expectation is rewarded with an easy collection of two, those being just one you, because Jesus owns you, plus their celebration, their celebration of being easy. Expect angels to save you. And that's why it's pray and get out of the way. So you can reread that and check it out. So here's some words for next week. Daphne's going to give me simply. Yeah, because sometimes God is just simply the best. And so are you. We make things hard when they're actually simple, but that goes back to what the poem is saying. We can make stuff look easy, but if we recognize the gift that God has given us, we recognize that it's a long process for us to get comfortable. So God has given me this gift. I have to share it and use it over and over. And so then it looks easy because we learn through repetition, okay? They call it muscle memory. So simply is also a very hard thing to accomplish. So is splendor. As Haas says, splendid is a good word. Yeah, because splendid, oh, that's wonderful. But splendor is a hard thing to accomplish too, because wonderful is perception, and what is wonderful based on what's going on. Okay, and then Joey, thanks, and got a roll. Oh, so he had hit and run. Did you want to drop a word that begins with S in there, Joey, when you come back? Okay, for next week, because this was Joey's second week in a row giving us the title. So topic. So those are the things those are the major lessons that we find in today's poem. The simplicity and the splendor can go in today's poem, but our next one is going to be December 15th because of my travel schedule. Okay. But I just want to again say thank you to those of you who put some words in. And now whoever still left, which as far as my count sees is Haas and Daphne, you're going to put a word that a number from 1 to 10. When I give you the countdown, put a number from 1 to 10. And then we'll see who will be the topic person. If there's anybody on LinkedIn right now, it's actually not showing. It's only showing me the people that are on Facebook. So, okay, on 3, 1, 2, 3, put a number in the thread and hit send. A number between 1 and 10. I got a surprise for you anyway. Jose put 9. Daphne put 0. Oh, forget 1 to 10, but the 10 could be a 0. Well, and the number, oh, okay. It's the Spoetry system. Yeah, right. I want to thank my co-authors, but the number is 5. All right. And look at that. Wonderfully, y'all separated. But what I had decided to do anyway, since it's just you two, I want both of you to send me a topic. You can email or put it in a direct message, or you can put in this thread anytime. And because my next broadcast will not be till December 15th, week after next. Is that week after next or 2 weeks? Because of my travel schedule. That's week after next. And I'm saying the 15th, but I mean the 13th. Okay. So the 13th will be my next broadcast. And so both of y'all send me a topic that you want to get in, and I'll get those topics in because I certainly appreciate how you two have always been supporting me. And I was going to actually do that. Well, no, let me not minimize it. I want to do that for y'all, but because it's you two, I said, I'm going to see what their numbers are, but I'm going to put both of them in there anyway. And the feature letter will be S. So even if you're watching the video, you can put a word in the thread that begins with the letter S, and you'll be one of my co-authors next week. But always remember, we don't have to hump. What we need to do is continue to find ways to keep it together. And that's what God's love does every week here on Glue Wednesday And anytime I can come on broadcast and let you know, and anytime you're sharing your message, you've got to realize that you are part of the message sharing that God is spreading his love. I'll type this poem up and drop it in the thread later. But I got a lot to do. If you got on early, you heard about the car accident I avoided. Woo! And I got to be thankful now that I'm thinking of that, because, I was just driving. It was a regular street. Yeah, this is not the highway. And he just suddenly cut. And I'm like, whoa, my peripheral vision. And I hit that brake and boom. And, he didn't end up hitting my car because he did this. But he didn't end up hitting my car because as soon as he did this, I did that and got back on. That's it. Yeah, thank goodness. And see, that's the New York driver. That's the New York driver, knowing how to avoid them accidents. But anybody, hey, it's the holiday season. A lot of amateurs are driving now. Why? Because people are celebrating, and so they may be driving under the influence of something. So be really careful. We had an old saying called "Watch out for the other guy." There's always a new campaign, for health or whatever, the government, car insurance. But we used to have an old school one called "Watch out for the other guy." So, watch out for what other people are doing. Yes, indeed. Haas says that's the New York driving. Yeah, but watch out for what others are doing. But you drive cautiously and the people behind you flashing. Well, you just make sure that you're not in the fast lane and try to do the speed limit. But if you're not, hey, you've got to recognize, hey, and when you're behind somebody, you think they're going too slow. You don't know what they have on their seat. You don't know, why they can't go that fast. Sometimes I've had a situation where I had it floored, but my car wasn't kicking in. It wasn't going fast. So you got to be mindful of that. What Daphne said, that's becoming a regular occurrence on the streets of Chicago. Yeah, you got the amateurs out there. People, I talked about the holiday amateur, someone who's under influence, but you also have people that aren't good drivers. So you just be conscious, okay? And then, hashtag, what you say? Watch out now. That's right. I'll see you now week after next as I talk about my travels. Pastor McKinley, good to see you, man. And if you want to get a word with the letter S in there, McKinley, throw it in the thread so I can make you one of my co-authors. And then there you go. Thank you, Haas. As always, stay alert on the road. And even as you're walking, be kind, because again, it was so weird when I got out the car to go around and look to see my if at the flat. For some reason, I kept my hand there and I slammed my door. Now, my thumb is killing me, but it's not hurting. Because immediately when I got to 7-Eleven, now they get a shout out. But all I could do was buy a 2-3 pound bag of ice. And then in my car I had a cup and I just sat with my thumb in the ice waiting for the tow truck to come to change my tire. I could have changed my tire, but once I blew my thumb up, I couldn't grasp the thing to change my tire. So that's why when Joey said, is it too early to talk about joy? It's never too early to talk about joy, y'all. Hey, you got to look at it. I like to say, I avoid the car accident. I could be gone. I'm realistic about things like that. So really, that's, time waits for everyone, because when it's your time, then God will have you deliver your message. So I know we hear time waits for no one, but that's not in the Bible. Not that I know of. Time waits for all of us. And just like, we were served no wine before it's time. That ain't in the Bible for sure. But when, just like Jesus said, when they said, well, Jesus, do such and then he said, it's not my time. So, you've got to recognize that your time is coming. You know how people say, when my ship comes in, but can you patiently wait for your ship? Recognize that God's timing is not majority right. It's always right. Look, I'm out of here. I'm going to let whatever comments go in the thread be the last, because there's a delay between when you hit send and it goes. But I thank you for joining me on Glue Wednesday. God bless you. And y'all have a safe weekend. Thanks again, Haas, for always telling us to stay alert. Peace. 10, 9, 8, 7. There we go. I knew I had to wait for the thing. That's just in case. See ya. Yeah. God bless. Thank you. Always need that. Okay. All right, y'all. I'm out. Over and out. Peace.